What's up, guys? Keyshawn Chi here, back at you with another new Ultimate Universe video. Now, this will be, not your, you could say, standard what if. This will be kind of, not with Naruto what if. This will be a Hinata what if. This is going to be the first ever Hinata what if. Now, I know other people did Hinata what ifs and stuff. Probably not, probably so. But this will be the first ever Hinata what if for my point of view. This will be, what if Hinata was the reincarnation of Kaguya? And yandere, you could say, for Naruto. Now, how would this happen? How's the story going to happen? How are we going to have the story based on Hinata, Hyuga, and what the fuck's basically going to go on? Well, we're going to have to start off with pretty much Kaguya. Now, Kaguya, as beginning, what happened and stuff. We're going to say Kaguya, before she got sealed, she pretty much pulled the, fuckery card. And basically just said, I'm going to let them seal me. But before I do this, I'm going to basically give my soul to my, do a reincarnation thing. Because we're going to say since, the Sage of Six Paths sons can do the reincarnation, we're going to say Kaguya can do it too. So basically, instead of the sons stealing her away, they basically kill her. Basically having the power to kill her. Which she let them kill her for a certain reason. Now, I know what y'all thinking. Wait a minute, ain't that gonna be incest for Hinata and Naruto to basically be together and stuff? I know what y'all thinking. Yes, that would be incest, so we're not gonna do the reincarnation weird shit like that. And kind of have someone else to be your reincarnation of Ida. You could say Ida and stuff. But Naruto would keep the other reincarnations of the first Hokage and that's pretty much it. The first Hokage. But the brother reincarnation of that, Ida, that's not gonna happen. Just to keep the Alabama shit separate. But if y'all do want that, I will make another part to this. I will make the same part to this, but make it Alabama for y'all guys. And the people who want that shit. But yeah, for my choice, that won't be Alabama. But other than that, let's get this started. How would this happen? Basically, like I said, Kage will basically pull that, I let y'all kill me, but I'm gonna reincarnate. And this is where the Sage of Six Paths realized that shit. This was her plan the whole time, and she basically gonna get reincarnated. But I might as well, get prepared then for the time come. Now, I know what y'all thinking. Also thinking, wait a minute, but that means Naruto won't get the sun hand and, listen, my niggas. It's all part of the plan, alright? I'll make this shit work, alright? I know how to cook up in the kitchen. I add different recipes to shit, but let's get started. Basically, Kaguya will be reincarnated. Now, we're gonna say Kaguya is pretty much, has the same force as the Sage of Six Paths and begins to, stay dormant in Hinata. We're gonna say the Nine Tails attack. Everything happens the same in the Nine Tails attack. Naruto will be by himself and stuff. But this is where we're gonna switch to Hinata point of view. We're gonna start with a 5-year-old Hinata. Now, Hinata is pretty much we're gonna say, as the reincarnation of Kaguya, is much more stronger, as she has pretty much will be born with horns, and her hair will be much longer. You could say, sort of say. Now, she will have a demeanor and stuff, as a demeanor of ready to, kill anyone, and whoever fucks with her, she will fucking murder him. Because, like I said. Now, she won't have the memories of... she won't have the memories of Kaguya, but she will have the powers of Kaguya and stuff. As she can, have her own that tail beast bunny, and also have all the Biju together and stuff and all that stuff. So, she will have that Biju bunny thing. And she will have the Sharingan or that Rinnegan thing in her eye. But let's pretty much continue. But it will be closed. She won't awaken it yet. I don't want her to be broken off the bat. But if y'all want her to be broken off the bat, this, let me know in the comments. But let's continue. pretty much, this is where Hinata, of course, has a little bit of different personality. As you know, more as she's not blushy type or like afraid or anything or that, or knows that she weak. She knows she's strong. And the Hyugas, they praise her and look up to her. I mean, pretty much, praises her and spoil her a lot. So yeah, because they know she's very strong and she's apology. You could say a genius in her first age. I mean, in her age. Now we're gonna go to the scene where this is where, of course, she's pretty much about to, about to get bullied by these kids until she's about to murder the shit out of them. Until this is where Naruto comes in and pretty much defends and takes the beating and stuff, and they pretty much run off. Now this is where Naruto turns around and smiles and asks if she's alright, which this is where she starts to blush and say, what is this feeling that she feels? And this is where she thinks she feels her chest, and she says, is this love at first sight? Love's at first sight. This is where she looks down and pretty much say, well, not look down. This is where she looks at him with a cold stare and pretty much asks, what is his name? Which this is where Naruto smiles. It says, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I'm going to become Hokage. Believe it, which, that's his first intro. It's at Hinata. This is where Hinata is blushing hard and says, and pretty much takes his hand and pretty much, you could say, slightly tights in the axe and pretty much smiles and says, will you be mine? Which Naruto is confused and pretty much looking at her and saying, be mine what? Which he's confused saying, be mine? What do you mean? This is where she's about to explain to basically be, hers, only hers, until we're gonna say a couple of villagers comes in and interrupt her. Which Naruto has to run away because it's the kids, parents. This is where she gets mad and pretty much clutches her fist, and as Naruto's running away and stuff, he pretty much says talk to her later. And this is where the villagers are running away and the kids are chasing after her. This is where she gets mad and she begins to say, for that y'all will all die. Which, this is where the people stop and say, what do you say? And she runs in and pretty much kills them. We're going to say kills them off the spike. She has no hesitation of killing them. And she pretty much just walks away. Now, we're going to say time skip. And this is where we have a 10-year-old Hinata. Now, this 10-year-old Hinata is pretty much resented by Neji, but she doesn't give a shit about it. Like, she loves her brother Neji, but she will kill him if he ever tried to do some bullshit or try to disrespect her. Which Neji is in his place, you could say. But he still has the same demeanor and stuff. But he likes his sister. He loves his sister, you could say. Because she's not weakened out of that. This is where we have Hinata pretty much leaving the Hyuga compound. Pretty much walking and stuff and all that. This is where, as he's walking... No, not he. As she's walking, this is where, we're gonna say she's walking to go see Naruto. Because we're gonna say she's friends with Naruto. Well, no, we're gonna say this is where she's going to, like, trying to see what's Naruto doing and stuff. Because, yeah, she's just going to go see Naruto and stuff. Because she's a yandere, and also she'll kill anyone who trying to interfere. And plus, everybody hates him except her. She loves him. But let's continue. Pretty much just the words as she's about to go, and she takes a shortcut to the forest because we're gonna say Naruto stays in the forest because he can't stay at the house half of the time because the villagers overprice his house. This is where she's about to go to the forest and see where he's at because she knows he's there. She can sense his chakra. And this is where the black... Well, no, not the black Asushi. No, this is not where the black Asushi is at. Hashiya. Nah, the black Asushi. Nah, we put a hold on that later. We hold that shit later. Yeah, we put a hold on that later. But let's continue. Pretty much, this is where Hinata sees Naruto, and she's pretty much blushing and hiding off her chakra. And well, Naruto can't even sense chakra because his fucking chakra thing is terrible. This is where she's looking on top of the tree, sitting down, looking and blushing and saying, Oh, Naruto. Oh, Naruto-kun. Which Naruto is pretty much just, trying his hardest to do his chakra and stuff and all that, and, trying to, really make an emperor of himself. This is where Kaguya noticed that Kurama is holding off Naruto's chakra or fucking up his chakra connection, and she begins to get angry. And this is where we're gonna say she goes in Naruto's mindscape. Well, mindscape, without Naruto noticing, and she pretty much appears in front of Kurama. This is where Kurama is in confusion and saying, "Who are you?" Which, this is where he immediately stops and he sweats and he says, "Kaguya." Which, that chakra senses and stuff, and Kaguya has a unique chakra princess, so this is where he begins to get in a sweat and says, "Kaguya, what do you," which she begins to say, "Neo," and she begins to, we're gonna say she has that capability to use the mighty push, and, well, yeah, we're gonna say she has the capability to summon the needles things, and she shoots down the needles at Kurama, pretty much nailing him down, which Kurama is in pain, which he says, "Kaguya, what do you," which she pretty much says, "I don't know who Kaguya you're talking about, but I am Hinata Hyuga, and you're right now messing with my Naruto-kun chakra," which Kurama's saying, "Ugh." Which, this is where, Kurama heard about Kaguya, but he never imagined that he would see, see the reincarnation of her, or you could say see her now. Now, this is where she pretty much demands of him to stop fucking with Naruto's chakra, and if he doesn't next time, she will kill him and make sure Naruto lives on, and make sure he's permanent dead. Because we're gonna say Kaguya was the only one who can kill Tail Beast, or merge them together, or kill 10. Well, can kill 10. Sorry, kill Tail Beast, you could say. Which Kurama knows that, because we're gonna say the Sage's Path says that, "Be careful, Kurama. If you do see Kaguya, she can kill you and make sure you will be erased permanently before he dies." Now, of course, this is where Kurama is, is sweating in fear and saying, "Okay, I stopped messing with his chakra, and you will be helping him, since you want to be disturbing him. That will be your punishment." Which Kurama grins his teeth and says, "Yes, Kaguya." And pretty much Naruto begins to try to use a shadow clone for the test, and pretty much forms it and says, "Yes, I did it. I formed the shadow clone. I formed the shadow test." Which she begins to smile and says, Now, we're just going to do for plot. This is where Naruto still fails, because we're going to say Mitsuki puts some strings around, and plus the village hates him. This is where pretty much... Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Was talking to my sister, but let's continue. Pretty much, yeah, we're going to do the Mitsuki thing arc. The scroll stealing arc. This is where Naruto, of course, still the scroll stealing, but we're going to say a little bit better. And he starts going. Now, as he's going, this is where he gets pretty much goes to the forest, and he's pretty much looking at the scroll, because we're gonna say his curiosity, and he opens up the scroll and he sees all there in there, and he starts saying, multi-shot Konjutsu, and he pretty much does it. And he says, well, that's cool, and he pretty much sees Aruka and says, "Does he pass?" Which Aruka is confused, saying, "What do you mean?" This is where we're gonna say Hinata was at night practicing with her abilities, and we're gonna say she was practicing her flying, because we're gonna say she's still learning all her abilities. And she noticed that she can pretty much sense Naruto's chakra, and he's pretty much in danger, because she can sense his emotion, that he's in a quick stress. Now, this is where Mitsuki tells Naruto to give up the scroll, and he's pretty much telling him his truth and stuff and what he is, and Naruto is shocked and all that. But this is where he does the same thing as usual and beat the shit out of Mitsuki. And since he has better chakra control, he makes more clones than usual and absolutely pummel Mitsuki. I mean, not Mitsuki. Yeah, Mitsuki. Now, this is where Aruka passes Naruto, saying that it's not his fault and stuff, that Mitsuki was planning all this, which Naruto, goes home happy. And Aruka pretty much, gets up, and he pretty much takes the scroll back, and he's gonna go report Mitsuki later. Report Mitsuki, because he knows he's, out cold. Now, this is where, of course, Hinata comes in. I know what y'all guys saying. Wait a minute. Why did Ruka leave Mitsuki right there? He could have just took... No. For plot purposes only. Alright? But let's continue. Pretty much, this is where Hinata appears. And she's pretty much, floating down. And we're gonna say Mitsuki wakes up for plot and says, "Oh, I know you. You're Hinata." Which she pretty much stabs him with the rod. Pretty much draining all his chakra. And you know that scene of Obito when he was slowly fading away, turning into ash? Yeah, this is him. But his hand is slowly turning into ash much quickly because she's doing it. And his arm falls off, which he can't scream because, well, we're gonna say she pretty much quickly ripped out his tongue. Yes, I know, gruesome, but it's for the plot, my guy, to show how dangerous she is right now and how furious she's at Mitsuki. Mitsuki begins to try to scream or something and all that, and he begins to get up and try to crawl away. This is where she stabs both his legs and pretty much turn those legs into ash. Now, of course, he's in extremely pain, but he can't scream. He's basically just making muffles. This is where she says, "Next time, no one should never hurt my Naruto-kun," and pretty much stabs him down and pretty much erases him. Pretty much gets rid of the rods and this flies away back to her Hyuga compound, which pretty much as Ruka was about to come back and get the police officers, or you could say the ninjas, the other Jonis, Mitsuki's not there. And they think he ran off or got away, but no, he's dead. he's dead. He's baboozled. But yeah, let's go. The next day, pretty much this is where Naruto is in class with Sasuke. Pretty much, looking at Sasuke with the death stare eye. Which Sasuke, he's not giving a fuck whatsoever because Sasuke is ahead of Naruto. We all know in the canon. But yeah, let's continue. Pretty much, yeah, Naruto just looks away. I mean, pretty much, yelling at Sasuke, trying to get his attention, but pretty much just doesn't prevail. Which Sakura punches Naruto in the forehead, which Hinata sees, and she clutches her fist, ready to kill. Okay, yeah, sorry guys, but let me continue. Pretty much, this is where, yeah, Hinata clutches her fist and ready to kill Sakura on sight for punching Naruto in the head. But, she doesn't. And, pretty much, this is where not Sasuke, Sakura says, "You idiot, Naruto. How dare you try to talk to Sasuke that way?" Which Naruto is, upset, and she pretty much tells him to get the hell away to Sasuke. And don't ever do that again now. This is where Hinata's ready to go for the kill, but she calms herself down and doesn't do it. But let's continue. Pretty much, this is where, yeah, the team instructor does the teams. Now, I'm just gonna do everything different now. Like, Team 7 will have a different person. It will be Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata. Because for plot purposes, and also Hinata threatened the people, and said that she would kill everybody if she's not on Naruto's team. So, yeah. Or she doesn't get put on Naruto's team. So, yeah. That's the reason why. So, Sakura will be on the team that Hinata was on. I think with Kiba. If I was incorrect, with Kiba and the bug guy. Yeah. With them, so, yeah. Pretty much, this is where, Sasuke is pretty much waiting for the instructor, but he's getting pissed off because he's taking forever. And Naruto is pretty much, thinking, because pretty much is like, setting up a trap for the instructor, Kakashi, because he's, Naruto. And, Hinata's pretty much smiling and also, smiling, watching Naruto, go at his, shenanigans and see what that's going to happen. This is where Hinata begins to start talking to Naruto, get to know Naruto better and stuff and all that. Which Naruto, talks to her, have a conversation with her and stuff, and tells what he likes and stuff. And also that we're gonna say also has a crush on also has a crush on someone, which Hinata asks, "Who's the person you have a crush on?" Which she begins to smile, thinking it's her. Which this is where Naruto says Sakura. This is where Hinata activates her Bianca and gets into a furious look, saying, "Sakura, the one who treats you like trash?" Which Sasuke looks at her with an eyebrow, saying, "Huh? What the fuck?" And also Naruto looks at her too, saying, "Huh? Why you mad?" Which she pretty much calmed down her temper and says, "Nothing," and pretty much looks away, saying we're done talking now. Which Naruto's confused, but Hinata got something special for her ass later on. But let's continue. Pretty much, this is where Kakashi comes in and the trap falls over. Naruto started laughing. Sasuke is not impressed. Hinata, she laughs. She laughs too, making a little giggle. Which Kakashi looks at them and says, "Huh." Now, everything happens the same. Naruto's dream is the same. Sasuke is the same. And, Hinata, her thing is a little bit different. Her goals, really not that much. She really has no goals. But her dream is to be with a certain someone that she loves, which she pretty much looks at Naruto. Which Kakashi noticed that and says, "Oh, it's Naruto. I'm surprised that he actually has a girl who likes him." Which, this is where Kakashi says the same thing, and he pretty much says meet him tomorrow at the bell test. Don't eat, or you're gonna puke. Which Hinata is still gonna eat, and Naruto, he doesn't eat, and also Sasuke. Well, she doesn't really need to eat, but let's continue. Pretty much, this is where we're gonna say late at night. This is where Sakura gets a knock at the door. And this is where she sees Hinata, which Sakura looks and says, "Oh, it's you, Hinata." Which this is where Hinata says, "Can we have a talk?" Which this is where Sakura says, "Okay, of course." This is where Hinata begins to talk to Sakura. And Sakura is pretty much saying that she only likes Sasuke and she's going to marry Sasuke one day and stuff. Which this is where Hinata says, "Oh, okay," and then asks her that to pretty much, lay it off with Naruto, and says that he will never be the one for her, which Hinata says okay. But of course, that's the side of, positive talking, making peace with another. This is not fucking, peaceful shit. This is Kaguya recarnation Hinata, powerful god, / yandere. We won't have no positive talk. This is where Hinata, we're gonna say reality, stabs Sakura in the back, pretty much killing her and draining her chakra dry. Which Sakura looks and says, "Hinata, you," which she pretty much says, no one ever lays a hand on my Naruto. You could say Naruto Shin," and pretty much kills her off. And pretty much she goes off. Well, goes back home after killing Sakura. The next day, pretty much, this is where Naruto hears the news that Sakura is pretty much missing from the village, or she's pretty much missing from the village, which Naruto is trying to figure out what happened to her until they found out that Sakura is dead. Because we're gonna say she's dead. Pretty much she got her throat slit. We're gonna say Hinata had that ability. We're just gonna give that ability. She can remake a body, and pretty much form the body into Sakura and make her have her throat get slit, saying that she got killed. This is where, of course, Naruto is shocked that Sakura is dead, and he begins to start saying, "What? How did she? Who killed her?" Which he begins to get mad and say, "I'm going to find whoever killed her." Which Hinata. Well, no. Yeah, I guess we can have that, but he's never gonna find the killer because I'm gonna make it happen like that. But this is where Hinata comforts Naruto, saying, "There, if you want, like, it's okay, I'll be there for you and stuff. It's hugging him and stuff. Which Naruto, embraces her, hugs her back and stuff, and cries. And pretty much she's smiling because she pretty much got Naruto by herself. No one likes Naruto. No one else likes Naruto but her. So, yeah. Um, this is where, of course, Kakashi shows up late in canon, but before he came, Naruto got fed by Hinata because she pretty much just, gave him a lunchbox that she made for him, and he pretty much, enjoys it and thanks her for it after that session. Yeah, and pretty much she pretty much offer up some to Sasuke, which Sasuke luckily agrees and eats with them because Now this is of course Kakashi comes in and he's pretty much saying sorry he's late and stuff, and Kakashi says the same thing as Kanon. And they pretty much go. Now this is where Kakashi explains the bell test and stuff, and pretty much it explains that one of them will get sent back to the academy, which since Hinata is a genius and pretty much, godlike intelligent, she knows that this is a test to use teamwork. And this is where Kakashi says, Mark gets it, go, and this is where Hinata grabs Naruto and brings him in the bushes. Now, this is where Hinata creates another clone and sends her off to get Sasuke. Now, this is where Hinata's basically explaining to Naruto the plan and that it's a teamwork exercise, and explains to him why is there two bells. It's about using teamwork, which Naruto agrees in and says, so what's the plan? Which Hinata explains. Now, this is where Hinata catches up with Sasuke and explains the whole plan, which Sasuke agrees, and he asks the question, wait, what if the bell test was a lie? And what if I don't get a bell and get sent back? Which Hinata gives him a death stare look and says, trust me. Or gives him a serious look saying, trust me, it's about using teamwork. Which Sasuke, does a little soft sweat, but he says, okay. Now, this is where, of course, Hinata tells Naruto to create, 2 clones. Well, create, 10 clones and sends them out. This is where Naruto sends out his 10 clones and they all start charging at Kakashi. Of course, this is where Kakashi dispatched all the clones and stuff, but this is where Hinata comes in pretty much Sasuke comes in and shoots 2 fireballs, making Kakashi pretty much jump out the way of the 2 fireballs and dodges them. This is where, of course, Hinata jumps in and pretty much uses her Byakugan in the 64 palm and knocks off all Kakashi's chakra points. It pretty much makes him fall to the ground. Well, fall to the ground. Well, fall back. This is where, of course, Kakashi is getting back up, and he realized that his chakra is cut off. This is where, of course, Naruto comes from the ground, grabbing Kakashi in canon. We're gonna say just like Neji in canon, and pretty much he does an uppercut, pretty much uppercutting Kakashi in the face, and pretty much knocking him out. Later, this is where Kakashi wakes back up. Well, no, this is where Kakashi falls on his ass, and Naruto got the 2 bells saying, did we pass? Which Kakashi smiles and says, they passed. And all that. Now, this is where we're going to go to the bridge builder part. Might as well go to the bridge builder part, because y'all going to see some spicy shit. So, let's go there. This is where, of course, Naruto start doing missions and Sasuke doing missions. This is, of course, Naruto and Sasuke in canon gets absolutely livid and asks Hiruzen for a higher mission. No, they demand for a higher mission. This is where Hiruzen is smiling and saying, nah, they're not ready yet. Until Hinata gives Hiruzen that serious Byakugan look and says, give them a higher mission. Which Hiruzen does a sweat and says, okay. I give y'all this sea mission to protect Tazen, which Naruto and Sasuke is happy that they get to do it. Which this is where they start to meet Tazen. And Tazen looks at all 3 of them, and he pretty much sees Hinata with the horns and says, is these people supposed to protect me? Including that yellow fox boy? Which this is where Hinata is about to kill him for saying what he's saying about Naruto, until Kakashi steps in and says, oh, trust me, they can. My team can handle it. Can get your back. Which Taza says, all right. Now, of course, this is where they head into Portal, and Hinata already noticed that there's like two ninjas in there because we're gonna say her sensory is off the fucking shark, so no one can get her off guard. Like her sensory of her Bianca gun is around the area, like it's up to 200 meters, so she can pretty much sense like pretty much Zabuza and Haku are replaying their precisions and stuff. Which this is where, of course, the Demon Brothers come out in canon, but before they came out and trying to go for the kill, we're gonna say they try to go for Sasuke and Naruto first, and Hinata pretty much comes in and pretty much dispatch both of them, and she pretty much keeps one alive. Well, no, she pretty much dispatched both of them, not killing them, and pretty much asks why they did this, which pretty much they explain everything, which Kakashi looks at Tazuna, which Tazuna says he's sorry and stuff, which he pretty much, and Hinata's about to kill Tazuna because Tazuna pretty much brought Naruto, got him in danger, and almost got him killed by lying about the mission, which Naruto says, which Kakashi is thinking about doing extra backup, which Naruto says no, let's continue the mission, and they pretty much continue the mission. Now, as they're going, this is where Hinata tells them to get their guard up. Pretty much, she alerts that there's two ninjas here with high chakra pressers, which she's pretty much saying that they're waiting for them, which they pretty much get ready and stuff, including Naruto and Sasuke, and this is where Blade is coming in. Hinata tells them to duck, which everybody ducks. Now, as everybody's ducking, this is where Hinata sees who did it and sees that it's Zabuza, one of the legendary swordsmen. Before he says another word, this is where Hinata does the teleportation and appears right behind Zabuza. It pretty much snaps his neck. Well, no. Actually, no. We're gonna say not snaps his neck, but pretty much touches the side of his face. Pretty much does the shadow thing in canon, like she did with pretty much it wouldn't canon. Pretty much did in canon with the whole Naruto and Sasuke thing. I think that's what they did. That's what she did to them, if I'm correct. Yeah, in canon, pretty much putting the shadow thing on him, and pretty much he can't do anything. And he's like, what did you do? Which she pretty much says, for killing him, I do something worse for you. I'm gonna make you kill your own comrade that you care for. Which pretty much this is where Hinata tells Haku to show herself or she will kill Zabuza. This is where Haku appears and shows herself, which this is where Haku tells her to let Zabuza go, which this is where Hinata says, no, I wouldn't try to do for trying to hurt my comrades, including Naruto. I'm gonna make you fight each other to the death, which this is where she says, do it, Zabuza. Which Zabuza pulls out get the blade, and he pretty much charges at Haku, which Haku is dodging Zabuza attacks and trying to see what can she do to pretty much free Zabuza from that. But there's no freeing him from that unless you, I guess, I don't know, I forgot how they did, but she has to do that, but she can't do that while she's focusing on Zabuza right now, and her emotions is going wild. They're trying to help out Zabuza. This is where Haku uses the Sunbow Needles and shoots at Zabuza's neck. This is where Zabuza takes a knee, and Zabuza's knocked out, but not the Shadow Thing. This is where the Shadow Thing swings at Haku, pretty much cutting her down. Of course, this is where the Shadow Thing walks close up to Haku and stabs Haku down, killing her on the spot. So yeah, Haku, and after that, this is where the Shadow Thing snaps Zabuza's neck, pretty much killing both of them. Pretty much ending that fight and that old Zabuza and Haku. So we won't get them early on that bridge fight thing. This is where, of course, Kakashi, Sasuke, Naruto, and also Tazuna is shocked that they just saw that whole coincidence, and pretty much is that. Now this is where they head to the Tazuna house. Tazuna house, and Kakashi is ready to train Sasuke and Naruto, but this is where Hinata tells tells Kakashi that she's going to be training Naruto by herself, how to tree walk and water walk, which Kakashi says, alright, fine by him. Now, this is where, as Hinata's training Naruto, Naruto's pretty much messing up like 3 times. This is where Hinata grabs Naruto and pretty much grabs his hands and stuff and tells him to feel his chakra everywhere and now focus on the chakra on his feet, which he begins to feel the chakra on his feet, and he begins to walk on the tree while he's holding her hand and stuff and saying, wow, I can actually walk on the tree, thank you, I can actually do it now, which he begins to blush, and she blushes too and says, you're welcome. Now this is where, of course, Hinata pretty much asks Naruto out on a date, which Naruto agrees, because since Sakura's dead, he might as well try to find a new love interest and try to move on. So yeah, he agrees, which she pretty much, blushes with excitement and say, okay, after this mission, which Naruto, smiles and says, all right, believe it. Now, this is where they hit to the bridge part, and for plot purposes, I want to really show y'all the extent of her power, like the extent of her power. So I'm going to show y'all the true extent of what she can actually do if anyone mess with Naruto. Now we're going to say the guy with the guy with glasses and the suit pretty much hired 2 more henchmen that had pretty much had the same ability as Haku, ice release, just for plot, has ice release, and also a person who has fire release. Yeah, ice and fire release. Now, and we're gonna say there's a guy with like a fucking axe who fights Kakashi for plots. Now, this is where Kakashi fights with pretty much the guy with the axe by Hinata protects Tazuna to keep Tazuna safe. Now, this is where Naruto and Sasuke is fighting the guy with different ice mirrors and stuff, and a guy with the fire thing, and they're merging together, making a combination of fire and ice. So Sasuke has to focus on the fire guy. Well, Sasuke has to focus on the guy with the ice, while Naruto has to focus with the guy with the fire. Now, this is where they're pretty much trying to hold off and stuff. This is where the guy and the ice guy shoots their elements combined and trying to hit Sasuke. This is where Naruto jumps in and takes the full blunt of the power. He pretty much gets burned from the side and stuff, and pretty much gets the needles in his, shit. And he pretty much hits the ground, which Sasuke asks him why he did it, which Naruto looks at him and he says, because you're my comrade, which Naruto puts his hand on Sasuke's face, pretty much doing the blood thing like Itachi did. And pretty much Sasuke begins to cry and pretty much get angry and forms let's say for plot, we're just gonna say for cool shit, Sasuke forms he already had the 2 Tomoe Sharingan, which he starts to do a lot of hand seals and says, fire style, fireball jutsu, and he shoots like 3 fireballs everywhere at each different site, which it destroys half of the glass. This is where Hinata sees closely and sees that Naruto's chakra is a little bit fading and concerned for him, and sees that he's pretty much down on the ground by a close glimpse, and sees that he's down burnt in half like with symbol needles, and she thinks that he's out, he's dead, which she begins to start crying and screaming in anger, which this is where Kakashi looks at her, and the axe guy looks at her and says, what the? And she pretty much forms the eye thing, and she begins to pull out the 2 rods thing and charges at the guys. Now, when the guys don't know what the hell's going on, Hinata pretty much when the guys jump out, the 2 guys jump out to go to another mirror, Hinata pretty much blitzes and pierce both of them, pretty much draining all their chakra and stuff and killing them on impact. and we're gonna say still in the Kinky Kenkai. Just for the plot, just for reason, and pretty much still they Kinky Kenkai. Now after she does that, after she does that, this is where she sees the hint. She pretty much goes to Naruto and pretty much hugs him and begins to cry and say, Naruto, if only I was there, which Naruto coughed up a little blood and looks at her saying, Hinata, you're here? Hinata, you're here? How did you? Which she begins to, kiss him on the lips, saying that she thought he was dead, you could say. Now, of course, this is where the goons come in and the guy's saying that they pretty much failed. And Kakashi already finished off the guy doing the lightning blade. But this is where the guys, appear. We'll say appear. And, pretty much, say that they're gonna kill everybody, which Hinata comes up beside Sasuke, says that she got this. And she pretty much, opens up her hand. And she pretty much, pretty much open up her hand. No, we're gonna say she does open up her hand, and she pretty much shoots out fire out her hands. Actually lava. We're gonna say the guy had lava release, and shoots out her hand lava, which lava. Well, no, she spits out the lava out her mouth, which she pretty much spits out massive like a lava tsunami out the guys, pretty much just melted them, and it's going to be named the Great Hinata Bridge. Well, Naruto and Hinata, because she wants it to be named that way. Now, after that, the mission becomes a success, and Naruto pretty much is heading home with Hinata. This is where Hinata's carrying Naruto on her back, pretty much, saying that is he okay, which Naruto pretty much blushing and saying that he can walk now, which she says, oh, okay, and pretty much they hold hands on the rest of the way. There, which Sasuke sees that. But that's pretty much it for part 1. If you like, let's get this up to like 10 likes, and I'll make another part 2 of it. Tonight. Well, today, you could say today, and I will give y'all part 2. But I'm Keyshawn to you. Thanks for watching, and peace out.
Looks like you lost another one.